Today, I'm gonna break down an American romantic drama film titled Cashback. The main character of the flick is Ben, a 25-year-old dude with a youthful face who's always friendly and kind to folks. You'd think he's the ultimate pal, but things are totally the opposite. Now, Ben isn't some serial killer, but he's got this wild ability to freeze time and do whatever he pleases. Naturally, he uses this power to undress women and engage in his favorite hobby, painting. No matter if it's on the street, at the store, or even at the movies, Ben pauses time around attractive ladies and creates their nude portraits. But things weren't always like this. Ben used to be a regular guy just like the rest of us. He had a caring girlfriend and a bright future ahead. The movie then flashes back to 5 weeks earlier when everything went downhill. Ben and his girlfriend, Susie, are shown arguing, with her calling him a loser. Fed up, he ends the relationship, which only makes Susie angrier. She starts throwing stuff at him, and that's when everything goes into slow motion for Ben. After the breakup, Susie quickly moves on and finds comfort in another guy. Ben spots them together in the college cafeteria and it hits him hard. To take his mind off things, he joins art classes. Since he's been into making portraits since he was a kid, he's a natural at painting, even surprising his teacher. Ben's specialty is crafting super realistic human portraits. However, nights become incredibly tough for him. He can't shake off the breakup. Whenever he closes his eyes, Susie's there. Days go by, and insomnia takes over. He can't manage to sleep for even an hour. Thoughts of his ex-girlfriend are turning him into a wreck. Drowning in remorse and pain, Ben finally calls Susie and begs her to come back. He apologizes for messing up their relationship and swears he won't do it again. Despite his desperate plea, Susie turns him down and hangs up. This sends Ben deeper into despair. In the following days, he tries his best to keep busy. Ben reads, watches movies, and takes solo trips to other cities. But when night arrives, insomnia strikes, making it hard for him to focus on anything else. So, he starts going on aimless nighttime wanderings too. One night, he goes to a local supermarket and notices a job opening for a night shift position. He sees this as a great chance to pass the time and earn some money, so he applies right away. The next day, he has an interview with the manager, Jenkins, and he gets the job. Ben is finally feeling happy after a long time, and he has a strong feeling that his life is going to change. As Ben gets used to his new job, he observes how his co-workers each have their own ways of passing the time. The cashier, Sharon Ponte, has a unique approach. She always hides the clock using different objects, thinking that time will go by more slowly if she doesn't see it. Then there's a playful guy named Barry Brickman who never takes work seriously. He and his sly friend, Matt Stevens, play pranks on female customers, like slipping adult toys into their bags. Some customers are confused when they discover these items, but others decide to keep them. Their boss, Jenkins, seems unconcerned about time. He loves boasting about his success and wealth, and when he starts bragging, time flies by for him. Among all the night shift employees, Ben has the most unconventional way of passing time. In the midst of his deep sadness, Ben disconnects from time and reality. Essentially, he uses his special ability to freeze time and his surroundings, allowing him to do whatever he wants. While some might misuse this power for personal gain, Ben chooses to refine his artistic skills. He admires the female body and selects random customers to sketch their portraits after gently removing their clothes. Ben's intention isn't impure. He just wants to keep his passion for art alive. Once he finishes, he dresses his subjects again and snaps his fingers, restarting time. This has become Ben's routine. He's not proud of it, but at least he's no longer as depressed or unstable. Gradually, he's finding ways to move on from Susie. At home, Ben frequently hangs out with his lifelong friend, Sean. The two have been inseparable since childhood. Sean and Ben are complete opposites. Sean's main interest is trying to hook up with girls, while Ben is more reserved. It's revealed that Sean has been to every strip club in town. One night, Ben, who works the night shift, has an encounter with Sharon, the cashier, in the locker room. He seems to have feelings for her but struggles to express them. As they talk, Sharon takes a bite of Ben's sandwich, surprising him. A piece of pickle gets stuck on Sharon's cheek, and despite her attempts, she can't remove it. Ben steps in to help and wipes it off, resulting in a cheesy and awkward moment. Later, Sharon decides to leave, and Ben wishes he could freeze time to savor the moment. However, by the time he gathers his thoughts, Sharon has left. While Ben continues with his work, Matt suddenly appears from a stall and reveals he's going to the movies with Sharon. This deeply upsets Ben, and he questions his bad luck. This reminds him of his school days when he fell in love for the first time. The girl was the brightest in the class and had an accident that left her with a cast. Ben wanted to write something encouraging on the cast but couldn't muster the courage. Unfortunately, he missed his chance, and later, when the cast came off, the girl was teased for growing hair on her arm. Ben comforts her, and they become close friends and eventually partners. At one point, she asks if he wants to kiss her, and they plan to meet for it, but she never shows up, leaving Ben heartbroken. Later, he learns she moved to another city with her parents, and he feels powerless and sad. In the present, their boss Jenkins gathers the employees for a friendly football match against his friends. Ben and the rest of the group don't want to play, but they're stuck without another option. During the game, the team from the supermarket loses by a large margin, clearly showing they don't know how to play. The other team keeps scoring goal after goal, making it 26-0. When Ben has had enough, he stops time and goes to the locker room to unwind. Unexpectedly, a guy unfreezes himself and runs out, revealing that Ben isn't the only one with this power. After a bit, Ben goes out and snaps his fingers, restoring time to its original state. In the heat of the moment, Matt kicks the ball so poorly that it accidentally hits Jenkins in the face. Jenkins is rushed to the hospital, and the other teammates all leave, leaving only Ben and Sharon behind. In the next scene, the two visit a nearby diner to learn more about each other. There, Ben finds out that she's single and that Matt was joking about dating her. They share their dreams, with Sharon revealing her desire to meet a painter who can truly see the beauty in things. It's evident that they have a connection as they talk. After their informal date, Ben walks Sharon home and their first kiss goes awkwardly as he kisses her on the cheek instead of the lips. The next day, a changed Jenkins announces he's throwing a party for his birthday. Sharon invites Ben to come along as her date, and he happily accepts. Later, Jenkins gathers the guys and assigns them different tasks for the birthday bash. Ben's job is to hire a stripper for the party. Despite never having talked to a stripper before, he knows the right person for the job. He asks his best friend, Sean, for assistance, promising to bring him to the party if they can get it done. They head to a local club where Sean's experience helps them hire a girl for the party. The next morning, an anonymous man, claiming to be an art enthusiast, calls Ben. He owns an art gallery in the city and wants to showcase some of Ben's artwork. This excites Ben because, for the first time, someone appreciates his art. But little did he know, it turns out to be a prank call from Barry and Matt. That night, Ben gets all dressed up for the party and heads to pick Sharon up. The moment she opens the door, he excitedly informs her that a well-known organization wants to showcase his artwork. Sharon wholeheartedly congratulates him, and soon, the two head to the party. Upon their arrival, the party is already in full swing. Sean is getting turned down by a girl, Matt and Barry are dancing in an outrageous manner, and Jenkins is on DJ duty. Suddenly, Barry spots his ex-girlfriend Susie among the attendees. It turns out she's dating Jenkins' brother. Adding to the excitement, a stripper shows up and amps up the party vibe. Notably, Sean feels an instant connection with the stripper. Meanwhile, Ben heads to the bathroom and runs into Susie. Without wasting time, she expresses her desire for them to reconcile and be a couple again. However, Ben is not interested, as he has already found the love of his life. Nevertheless, Susie persists in her crazy way, even going so far as to forcefully kiss him. Ben immediately pushes her away, but when he turns around, he realizes that Sharon witnessed the entire incident. Ben tries to explain that it's not what it seems, but Sharon, the innocent cashier, leaves without hearing him out, driven by her anger. Later, Ben goes straight to Sharon's apartment to explain everything, but her rage blinds her to his words. As she hurls insults, Ben becomes upset and walks out. This breakup sends him back into his world of depression and insomnia. The only thing he's looking forward to is his appointment with the supposed art gallery that had contacted him. In the next scene, the day finally arrives, and Ben goes to the gallery with some of his best artwork. As expected, the gallery owner denies having made any appointment, making Ben realize he's been pranked. Just as he's about to leave, the owner notices some sketches of Sharon and asks to see them. As expected, he likes them, and Ben is given the opportunity to display his work in the gallery for a night. A few days later, Sharon receives an official invitation to Ben's art display. Despite her anger, she decides to attend. When she arrives, she's surprised to find that every artwork there is about her. Ben stopped creating portraits of other women and dedicated all his time to Sharon. She realizes that she's the love love of his life, and he couldn't focus on any other woman. Sharon and Ben finally come face to face. Ben attempts to explain what happened on the night of the party, but Sharon tells him he doesn't need to. She now understands his love for her just by looking at his paintings. This realization brings them closer, and they share a romantic kiss in the middle of the art gallery. In the final scene, Ben uses his abilities to freeze everything, but this time, Sharon can also move in the frozen world. The two step out into the snow, surrounded by suspended snowflakes. Finally, the two lovers share another kiss, bringing the movie to a joyful end.